Fuck yeah, at least somebody did.
Turn the music down on the stream. Get ready to run a session of Minhal. Veil of word I can't even pronounce. Okay.
Where's plastic from? Oh, I just died for now.
Staring at your screen in that pitch dark room doesn't kill your eyes, Nick?
Oh.
Man.
In fact, I don't like this light there. I'm gonna like just slightly angle my camera because the stupid light from the outside is just like distracting.
Makes
Or I
my
could just
eyes
put
water
something.
just looking at you in a room like that. I couldn't do it. I can't
And then
lay. I
here, wait,
can't lay
this
in
is
bed
me
and be
looking
on
at
my
my
phone.
character sheet. It's a bright ass white screen. I don't know. I was one of those kids though, man. Like as soon as nighttime hit, I was down there in the basement with the TV on the whole night long. Just lived in the basking glow of the television and the radiation of the television. Come on, grass in here. Good girl.
Let's do a sound check on everybody. Cook, we got you there?
Absolutely.
Okay, Alyssa.
I'm here, and my AC is 21 with a shield.
Nice. Maximus.
Test.
Gotcha. Caden.
I'm here, and my mom is currently sorting through all the dice we own to try to find one that rolls over a 10.
They don't work that way. Just so you guys know, full disclaimer, partook in some of the devil's lettuce a couple hours ago, and I am in a really good headspace. I am looking
I'll
forward to
join
this.
you.
Local dispensary
Maybe
had
Friday
a
night.
really
I'll
great
join you
deal.
guys. I'm on daddy duty right now. I can't get in.
That sucks, but adorable at the same time.
It's good. I'm going the opposite direction, and I'm caffeinating up.
I did that as well. I got me a monster coffee here. I'm gonna regret that when it's time to go to bed in a couple hours.
In
No, I got a
complete
Red
opposite
Bull,
news.
and they started selling Baja Blast by me, so I picked up a case of that.
Ooh.
Baby Baja Blast. Oh, wonderful.
They've been selling
Nectar of
that.
the gods.
They've been selling that at the Walmart here for like a year.
It's on and off in our area. We'll have it for a while, and then like all of a sudden, none of the stores have it anymore. And then like next summer, they'll bust it out again. I feel like they just regionally ship as much as they do, and then they're like, "All right, guys, next summer, we'll give you some more."
Nice.
They
You
be
know who
holding out
always
on
has
us,
it?
man.
Sam's. Sam sells
Who?
it in a 36 case.
Nice.
Okay. There's a place, I don't know if you guys
Unfortunately,
have
I
them,
have
but
stock
out here called it's called Dollar General, and they sell this one
Yep.
called Maui Blast, and it is just pineapple flavored Mountain Dew. The shit is so addictively good. But they only sell it at that Dollar General place.
Alyssa, you there?
Yes.
How about a recap?
Oh, okay. I was totally not. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Timber stood up for me with my brother. I wish I would have heard it. It would have been awesome. But I was sleeping until I think he came out with food. And then everybody woke up. And then I think I remember a lot, but then Max reminded me of the whole conversation where Thandril, I think my brother had asked Thandril if he was into Ildane, and he did his like whole stutter sputter thing and called me, I think, chubby, and called our kids hideous or ugly. I can't remember.
He said they would
And
be
then
ogres, I believe was one of the words he used. He said, "Could you imagine those ogres?"
Shooting
Yes.
hammers out of bows was also a phrase that was used.
Yes, it was.
And then see, we went I think we're going towards the desert, and then a bunch of witches tried to take us down, and Andrel killed them all, and we got to help a little. And then let's see, Winter met her god, and then made a pact but sort of. And then I think we all bought magic shit.
That's a pretty good recap. Take an inspiration. If you didn't
Yay!
already have one.
No, that would have helped with our dice rolls.
Apparently not tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it
that's
doesn't make a difference if you roll 2 6s.
true. So yeah, that's a pretty good recap. You guys ended here at this merchant caravans camp with this drow merchant, and you guys bought some magic items off screen, and you're working out your rest. And Navir and Winter eventually make their way back around to the fire. Everybody's kind of laughing and having a good time, showing each other their magic items. And Navir notices Timber off here by himself and approaches you with a friendly smile as you sit off to the side. Listen, aren't you gonna join us by the fire, little fairy?
Sorry, the company not quite to my taste, but I do appreciate the offer. But yeah, have a good night.
Make a wisdom saving throw, DC 23.
Absolutely. No,
Okay,
I'll try to do
Elaine's
this
not
on
ready
screen.
to fight a god.
This dude don't want to fight. He's way too jovial.
You
We've
said
pissed him
wisdom
off enough yet.
save.
It's gonna polymorph him into a
Oh.
platypus.
That's
can
a
try.
12.
Classic.
What's Timber thinking right now? This is detect thoughts. You know it's happening too. You feel him
That's,
trying to.
he's like, thoughts are basically like, gods. They're so pretentious and they're so worthless, and they're all powerful, but they don't actually use their power to fix anything. Just lame, and
And you feel that he's read your thoughts, but he kind of chuckles. And I agree. You know I'm not a god, right?
but that may be. You have the power to take people's souls in return for a shiny knife. So you're close enough as makes no difference.
I'm close enough. Makes no difference. So you won't be joining us then, huh? Well, that's a shame. He knew your answer before you were going to speak. He's reading your thoughts.
Yep.
Well,
I try to form my thoughts into a middle finger.
yeah, you just imagine double middles. And he chuckles again, and well, I'm very sorry that you feel that way, and I'm very glad that someone who can look at the world logically is traveling with Winter. She's a bit of a dreamer, you might say.
She is quite a bit of a dreamer, but she seems to be, I don't want to say harmless, but she appears to be dangerous in all the good ways.
I hope peace finds you, Mr. McSunshine. And he gives a slight nod, and he turns, having been nothing but polite to you. Other than intruding your thoughts.
Yeah. I regret nothing.
Okay.
It is nice to know what his spell save DC is, though, just for future reference.
Yeah. Not impossible. So here you guys are, sitting around the fire. With a god. And some merchants that he's just hanging out with. They have no idea who he is.
Mordella's gonna say, "Hey, Simon,
Yes.
do you happen to know what coven those witches belong to that we encountered on the road over there?"
I'm afraid not. Your kinds are a bit elusive, almost intentionally.
Well, your flattery is appreciated. Yes, we are.
It's the way you pull your magic reminds me of a lot of ways I pull mine.
Is that so?
Before the gods, we wielded magic. And most of this land was ours. But they came, they created all of you, they gave you the powers. Maybe some of my kin are a bit tyrannical. You rebelled, and now we're stretched thin across the land. But you guys, your covens, you don't rely on the gods, and I can respect that. To everyone else around the fire, you hear Simon and Mordella talking about the weather. And Mordella, you don't realize this conversation's taking place in your head.
Okay. And she's like, "Yeah, maybe we don't rely on the gods, but we do still worship them in some ways. At least some of us do."
Some of you do. But that doesn't help with the side effects that happen to mortals when they use the powers as we do. That stain on your soul that happens, it doesn't happen to dragon kind.
Mordella glances over towards Winter. Them too?
Well, it is true, our blood does flow through theirs. It's been quite diluted. It's like a recreation of a famous painting. It holds all the beauty, but it's just not quite as impactful as seeing the original.
Mordella kind of grins and she says, "Well, you keep your eye on that one."
I was about to ask you to do that. She seems quite fond of you.
And I her. She's willing to accept me for who I am.
There's innocence there that I'm gonna rely on you to rein in when the time is right. She's young.
It'll be hard when she needs to be.
Of that,
I've seen her with steel.
She's got a nice new one, if I do say so myself. It's quite brilliant.
Simon,
Yes,
are you following her?
she called
Are
to
you
me.
keeping tabs on her?
She asked me to, in a way.
I was just kind of wondering if we'd see you again.
Oh, there's always a chance. It is a big world, and I haven't been home in a long time.
So is this place, and she kind of like gestures towards the fire. Is it real? Are we still here? Or is this something of an illusion?
No, you're really here. I met these people on the road, and they were polite, and I may have steered them in this direction. I happen to know that the last two places you stopped didn't really stock the kinds of things that you guys need for your trip. Call it a coincidence.
Mordella grins again and says, "Oh, so you're watching after all of us."
I think I need to, because you guys are watching after her.
Well, Simon, until the next time we see each other, she stands and excuses herself.
I'm gonna look over and be like, so she's walking away. Did the weather not what did we come up with a consensus for the next couple days?
I
Speaking
thought
of,
Sandra was the guide.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep heading south till we find our way into the dunes.
oh, the dunes.
You know of it?
Oh, I know a thing or two about the dunes. As a matter of fact, Winter, there might be a problem there you can help me solve.
Winter looks up from her summoning of the mage hand and turning it into this like little baby dragon shape and goes, "Yeah, what are you doing?" And is trying to like shove the little baby dragon behind her.
He chuckles and he goes, I think the problem will reveal itself, and that'll be part of the fun. Yes.
Asking for favors and being mysterious about them. So typical.
Aren't you a fae?
Mind your business.
I'm not offended. Timber is a bit of a hard nut to crack, but he'll come around, I'm sure. Besides, I have one more present for all of you.
Is it a dancing sword? Because apparently my ancestor has the only one.
It's not a dancing. I just gave you it. Was there a problem with the sword I gave you?
No, it's a wonderful sword, but it's also like a sword
Really?
that I
'Cause,
just
like,
throw into
you're
the
kinda-
fight and walk away from. You know? Because there's myths about this sword that you don't actually have to wield, it just goes and fights people on your own, and I'm really bad at fighting. Like, you don't understand how bad I am at fighting. So your sword is awesome, but it also requires me to try to hit people, which is not gonna go well.
I forged for you a one-of-a-kind sword in the heart of the sun and bestowed it to you personally. And you're already asking me for another sword. This is going to be a very interesting
No, I'd be like
arrangement.
shaking my head to Winter, like stop, like no, like you know, like just kind of making those like paranoid movements. Um, Winter, just gracious.
The dwarf is telling me to shut up, so I will.
That is fine.
Telling you to shut up. What?
Are you ready for your present? The dunes, you say?
Yeah. Can I roll an insight check on the drow merchant?
Yeah, go ahead. He's just
let
sitting there
me-
watching this a little befuzzled.
That'll be a 15.
15? Yeah, he's just a merchant on the road. Seems pretty jovial and happy, and he's made some sales, so meeting Simon's been pretty good.
I'm just quite wondering what you're doing finding yourself in the company of a filthy blueskin. What you got in them are kids to kidnap or people to sacrifice to demons, you filth. Brings you above the underground hole, you damn.
I think Rack's gonna. Are we sitting right next to each other? I think we're
Yes,
sitting
you
next
are.
to each other. I think Rack's gonna put a hand on Thranduil's shoulder.
No, Simon speaks up, or not Simon, but this drow merchant speaks up. No. Quite used to it. If you must know, I left the Underdark decades and decades ago. I didn't see eye to eye with the...
What, the worshipping of giant spiders?
Exactly. It's all a bit much, and I don't know if you know how male drow are treated, but it isn't exactly a pleasant life.
Your kind is not to be trusted.
Well, I apologize if you feel that way, friend. You'll find that my wares were priced fairly and that they all work as described.
Thranduil's gonna get up, spit on the ground, like towards him, and just like walk off, just in disgust.
I'm actually gonna follow him.
I am too.
And I'm gonna clear my throat and be like, hey, just saying, people that don't look like you all have reputations. And like we have an orc right here, and that's not she is not who that reputation is. And dwarves, all they do is drink and grow beards and hit shit. Okay, well, I got all that but the beard, but most of the dwarves don't do that. So I'm just saying, like, there can be some good in places.
I'm just saying, I dealt with their kind before. No good has ever come of it. I'd watch yourself around that one. Unless you find that dagger in your back.
I can think of a few things to say against elves right now, but you're obviously not one of them.
Just saying.
You aren't every elf, and every elf isn't you.
Some things run deep, and some things can never be forgiven.
Who hurt you?
It's a long story.
This is a trauma dump episode, apparently, between Timber and Thranduil.
Now this took a turn, and I'm down for it.
I just went and grabbed popcorn before this too. I can't believe my good fortune.
So I'm actually just gonna kind of sit down because I think we're over by like the tent in order
Oh
to.
yeah, I should probably pull up the
Oh
map
no, that's
for
not a tent.
the stream. They're all
We're kind of
staring
like
at my
off.
face.
So I'm just gonna kind of sit down and then kind of give Rack this look that says like, "Please sit down with me." And then I'm gonna like not like pat the spot next to me, but like pat the ground to be like, "We got time."
Well, it's not
I'm
offensive.
gonna immediately flop down.
I don't feel like talking about it right now. If you'd understand. Just know that I have distaste for other kind. Just leave it at that.
Okay. So before I sat down, I didn't really, adjust for the how much taller you were standing here, because I thought you'd just sit down. So this is awkward, and you're hurting my neck. So could you just sit down, and we'll talk about whatever you can talk about. You obviously got some shit.
It's nothing. Seriously, I'm fine. I just couldn't sit there and have him just listen in on the whole plan. I mean, you don't know. I can't.
Leave him alone, Ildane. Let him breathe.
I just kind of sit there awkwardly, like just staring up at him because I'm just like, well, obviously he needs to resolve stuff. And then, my mother is telling me to calm down and stuff. So I'm just kind of like sitting there silent, just staring up awkwardly.
Randall, he'll sit down and
Oh, thank God.
and he'll say, what do you make of this whole god thing? Do you really think he's a divine being?
Oh, the dragon? I thought we were going a different way, and I was gonna talk about how like I was having kind of a crisis of faith. So no, okay. Yeah, the dragon guy, or the elf guy. Sorry. I wouldn't say he's like a god. He could just be like really fucking old, and you know.
What exactly
Just-
defines a god? Is it a certain level of experience or power or followers? There's too much talk about gods and power and shaping of our world and magic. And do you just think everything's getting so convoluted? You just think people should just take care of themselves and their families? Yeah. Why does everyone have to bow before some superstitious power? It just seems all too complex. Life should be simple.
For some of us, it's not about bowing down to the power. It's more of an acknowledgement. You don't have to necessarily cater to the whims of the gods to recognize that at some point they're at least more powerful than we are.
Don't you just... I know, but don't you just feel like having another being just controlling the weaves of your fate, doesn't it not bother you?
It feels like
I
they're
think if
playing games that we don't know the rules to.
And we're just bound to play by theirs, it seems.
No. Some of us are like Winter and make up their own, and some of us are like more Della and Timber and just choose not to play.
That's kind of how I am too. I respect the god of nature, but I don't pray to her. I just expect her to know. But when gods just show up at your camp and try to steer your fate themselves, it just seems too muddled. I have a bad taste about this whole thing.
You don't think he
Ildane
seems
just
fair enough
kind
that
of-
you could talk to him?
I'm not sure.
Question him?
What if you say the wrong thing and then you find yourself smited in a divine wrath? I'd rather not risk it.
What if your bowstring breaks and the arrow hits you in the face? You never know what happens.
Best not to risk your own luck. I'm sorry. It just seems like I'm ranting. I'm not trying to. I was just trying to get some air. It's just a lot right now. You know, and we're so close to finding Blackthorn. I'm just eager to finish that business.
There's
I'm
another
sorry.
way you could look at it. Kind of like I lived in a community that worship one god, same as Vrac. But it just wasn't fitting. And so I found like another one that sounded interesting. But then it got me thinking that maybe these people are just really powerful. Because if you look around, look on the ground, there's insects all over. To me, they're nothing. Except if one insect falls over and I find it funny, or it does something interesting and unique that I'm excited at what it does. But otherwise, you ignore all of them unless they catch your attention.
Are you saying
And I
insects
would
are the work
think,
of the gods then?
no, I'm saying we would be like insects to our gods. And unless you do something that either disgusts them or interests them, they really don't take a part in your life. There are some, like, you know, people out there that will shine glass on anthills. So there are probably those, you know, gods as well. But I'm just saying, most of the time they're ignoring us. It's only when we do something unique, interesting, or disgusting that they really intervene.
Yeah. I see what you mean. But there is also insects out there that people would fear as well. With one bite, they could kill you instantly. It seems everything is in balance, despite how out of sorts it seems. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are just more powerful beings than us. Maybe just older. A lot to think about. I appreciate that talk.
Anytime.
Brack and Randall, take inspiration. That was really good.
Oh, thanks. Well, I don't want to hold everybody up. If you want to return to the camp, I can try to keep it together and not kill the bastard.
Some baby steps. He doesn't have to be your friend. Just don't kill him.
Baby steps. I'm not a murderer. I just hate him. Well, and Thranduil will reach out a hand to offer to help each of you up, and he'll make his way back to the log.
I'm probably still a little resentful from earlier today, and I'll just get up on my own.
Kill Stealer.
Noted.
I'll accept the hand, and then you see Vrac like wink at Thranduil.
I'll pat the backside of your hand with my other hand as I help you up.
Well, that was interesting.
It's nothing. Just something on my chest.
Something very heavy indeed.
you know, it ebbs and flows.
Does my presence offend you, Randall? This is Simon.
Nope. It's fine.
Well, I fear we may have slowed you guys down on your path, and maybe that's Mr. McSunshine the Fae, the Honorable Fae, seems to be in a hurry. And you've had a few obstacles thrown in your way, so a gift. And he holds up his hands and begins casting a spell. He brings his hands together in a clap, and all of you find yourself at the beginning of the dunes, standing around an old dragon shrine.
Randall's gonna look at Vrak and Eldane and just grimace.
And
Sorry, off screen. Max was like, counterspell, and I'm like, don't you dare! Sorry.
if Denver can, undo a 7th level teleport at this level, we'd be impressed. He probably would have gave you a gift. Just out of the sheer audacity of it. And as you guys appear, Winter, you notice that you are up on this shrine, kind of raised above your friends, front and center as they're in kind of a semicircle around you. You've
Okay,
been
maybe
placed,
Thranduil had a point.
You've been placed on a pedestal.
Maybe Thranduil had a point.
This is not gonna help her self-confidence in going into fights. She's gonna make bad choices.
Well, Eldane, looks like I'll be casting defensive spells on other people for a while. Winter, you
How
have
tall?
written down that I've given you that platinum ring, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Just checking.
How tall is this pedestal?
So it's really stairs to kind of lead up to like this kind of almost like an altar at the base of this shrine. So you're probably 8-9 feet above your friends as they are at the bottom of the steps.
Okay. Can I roll investigation on the shrine?
Go ahead.
Investigation. 14.
14. It's old and weathered from the sand. There are some draconic writings on it, but they've long faded over time. Doesn't seem to be anything but a long forgotten ruin.
Okay, cool. Winter's just gonna walk down the steps and go, hey Mordella, it's kind of cool up there. There's all these weird writings. Do you know like a spell to make them like clear so I can read them?
Are any of those writings draconic? I would guess not, since
Yeah.
you can probably read that.
They're all draconic. It's just that it's been so long since they were written that they're kind of hard to make out.
So, I know somebody who is a person that is really invested in scribing, and she's like looking directly at Timber. What do you think, Timber? You have anything that can help us out in this situation?
This is a tough problem because I have comprehend languages, but I don't think that would do us much good here. I could possibly. I don't think mending would help. I'm not detecting any magic. I don't think there is much I can do in this to revive centuries-old writing.
What if you could write it down on a sheet of your paper and we can save it for later? Try to decipher it at a different time.
I can.
I have a question for Timber as the DM. Max above table.
Uh-huh.
Are you
Yep.
purposely refusing to use mending?
No, I actually don't know that spell.
Oh, okay. You don't know mending, so you're like, oh, I don't think it'll work.
Yeah.
Because my intention
right,
was,
yeah, that
my
was-
intention was for it to work. I just didn't know
No,
if he
I
was like,
actually-
fuck this god.
No,
Would
I
it-
actually don't know mending. I would have used it.
Would it be terrible if I use mending then? How big of a damage are we talking?
It's just worn from time and like the sand blowing. It's erosion.
But mending would work.
I was going to allow it to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll cast it then. I have it as a cantrip.
Okay. What's it look like when you cast mending over this? So there, it looks like an archway, and it just goes into this little alcove where there's like some stone benches inside. It's not like a huge temple or anything. It's just a small.
Is it like a so it's all stone?
It's all stone, and inside there's some
Okay.
stone benches. It'd probably hold like 3 or 4 people. It's almost like a rest area.
Okay. I'm imagining just touching the stone and just tracing my fingers over the writing that I can see and feel. And as I'm going over the stone itself, over the writing, everything that needs to be mended, I'm just imagining like the sand from the desert, like streaming up from the ground back towards the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Like a reversal of what basically happened to it over the course of time until everything's complete. I doubt I can read it, but at least it's fixed.
Yeah, so you do that, and the etchings reform themselves into a much deeper and legible script.
Can I read it now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, what does it say?
It simply says, "This shrine in honor of the one who visits from the stars."
Oh, hey, it's a poem about Navir. I mean, it's a pretty short poem, but it's definitely about Navir. Told you, definitely a god. See, got a shrine and everything.
Do you step inside?
Walked away.
You just walk away from it?
No, I like walk away from the group and get closer to the shrine, but I'm like very much like I'm not hearing any like arguments against my belief. Like it has been proven to me that my god is real, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Thranduil, go ahead and roll a survival check with
All right.
advantage.
Okay. Not the question, but why the advantage? I was about to announce to the party how terrible I am in deserts.
Oh, were you? Because I was going to give you advantage because of your experience in the desert.
Yeah, I'm like, So he'll just speak up. We kind of arrived here all of a sudden, but I need to let you all know that, I'm more experienced tracking in forests. We're going to be moving a lot slower out here, and I'd try to keep your heads down. I won't be able to get as many rations. I don't truly understand the beasts of the sand quite like I do the woodland realms.
Well, let me see if I can provide some assistance in this endeavor. And Timber just flies 30 feet up in the air to try to look around, see if there's anything he can see.
Okay,
But-
so that'll give you your advantage.
Got you. That will be.
Hey, while he's doing that and before we leave, can I bind a spirit?
You can attempt to bind a spirit, yes.
That'll be a 11.
11.
I'm also not really good at survival rolls.
With advantage, the ranger only gets an 11. So the most you get is, you're pretty sure that north on this map is north and south on this map is south. You can't be that deep into the desert yet because there's still a lot of plant life kind of around here. So you think maybe that dragon just saved you 4 or 5 days on the road?
I can definitely tell where, just from being stationed here, and I can gather we're quite far from where we just were. Maybe a week's travel. I'd say we're probably in the thick of it.
Don't feel too bad, Thranduil. To be perfectly honest, I think the teleportation work that he did was a little sloppy, which is kind of what led us to be a little bit afar, a little bit different from what you were expecting. It was adequate. I mean, it saved us some time, but I mean, really, if he had power, why didn't he just send us to the city?
I was just speaking to Varak about this. How they seem to drag us in whatever direction they please, and now we are in a strange place, and I have no idea what surrounds us, be that monsters or villains. I'm afraid we're
they're always asking for something, but then they don't tell you what it is. Like, hey man, do you want me to do it or do you not want me to do it? Like
everything's got to be a cosmic lesson.
In Naveer's
and look,
defense, you guys did say you were heading to the dunes, correct? So he sent you exactly where he needed to.
And then they always like promise you things, but it's always like tricky how they promise it to you, and they, it's like, hey, do you want this cool sword? All it costs you is your ever living soul. Like it's.
Is Winter like right next to them?
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna be like, some of us, and kind of like nodding to Winter. This is their belief, and it's doing no harm. So, shut up.
Oh, quite right. And he kind of slightly bows to Winter. It's like, my apologies. I have let my own biases color my comments, and for that I apologize.
I'm sure he had
No
the
need
best.
to
Sorry.
No need to apologize. Your perception of the gods is very much like my perception of the Fae. Mischievous little creatures who don't tell you enough information and try to make deals that screw you in the end. We all have our perceptions. Who's to say whether they're true or false?
Oh.
Ildane's gonna be like, okay, I don't need to defend her anymore. Holy shit. She's just kind of gonna back up a step.
I'm sure he had the best intentions, but I'm just saying, if I step out of here 10 feet and then I'm swallowed whole by a 90-foot giant sandworm, just know I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
You guys are standing around this shrine having this conversation, and Winter, you hear in your head, oh, silly me, I almost forgot. and there's a snap of the air, and your guys' horses and carts appear.
Oh, that's yeah. Forgot
Oh.
about that.
Yes, thank you for bringing my pony into the desert. What could go wrong with this?
At least we'll have something to eat.
That's the Randall. I think you and I are going to become fast friends, Randall, because you always find the positive side.
Then
Thank
you
you.
like run to a pony and stand in his way.
Not yet, but you know.
When things get bad
I won't
enough,
even-
you ought to be.
Get
You'll be
out my
thinking.
sword.
Timber walks up to Snowflake, his pony, kind of like pokes the pokes it. Ooh, this might. This is that's a good piece right there. Okay.
Hildane,
Dane summons her echo right behind him.
Hildane, make a survival check.
And not sort of Eldane.
Arctic
Biscuit,
inspiration.
Biscuit trained for this sort of thing.
Out of 14. No. All right. Where did my thing go? Let's see. That'd be 18.
Ah. You're starting to get a little warm in this armor as the sun's beating down on you. But while you guys are kind of having this conversation, Mordella is kind of off to the side, chanting to herself, not taking part. And some of you have witnessed something like this before. And there's this almost ethereal light that comes over her body. But Mordella tries to do something you've never seen her to do. So she has absorbed this. And she starts to do it again. And this time it's a bit more intense. And her brow begins to furrow a bit. And the light that hits her this time locks her body up. And anybody who looks into Mordella's eyes sees fear.
I cast detect evil and good.
Yeah, Mordella.
At the same time, I'm asking if
Mordella
we're
lights up like a Christmas tree. Mordella, you have just been taken on by a spirit of vengeance. And it is
I think
fighting
Ildane's gonna
you for
ask out
control.
loud. I'm gonna ask out loud, like, are we fighting someone else? Like, are they doing that to her, or do we need to knock her out because she's about to do bad stuff?
Mordella,
We're about to find out.
in your head, you hear a voice. Oh, this vessel will do just fine. Give in to me.
Did I get anything out of the detect spell?
Read it off to me
He's
verbatim, because I believe I gave you.
Oh, wait. For the duration, if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet,
Yeah.
as well as know where it's located.
Mordella lights up like a Christmas tree, as she is definitely giving
Okay.
off
Oh, that's what you were saying.
undead energy.
Okay. So,
and she heard that in her head, what you had just said, Frankie.
You are locked up. This whole conversation is happening in your head. You are fighting to retain control over your own body.
She's going to
Well-
begin reciting the poem that the other witch recited last week that she knows, the Lyra poem.
Yeah.
She's going to say, Lyra guides my way at night, basking me in silvery light. I'll stay upon the path that is pale, or as the Thraxus lies beyond the veil. And she just keeps repeating that as she tries to stave off whatever's happening here. She thinks it's Zithraxis, but which doesn't know that in any way.
Yep. First, make an Arcana check.
I don't know what the total is, but I rolled a 2, so it's probably not going to happen here.
Yeah, this very well
Yeah, that's a
could be.
3. That's a 3.
This could very well be an evil god trying to take your body over right now. So we are going to do a series of 3 checks real quick. I need a wisdom saving throw. The first DC will be 13, and you will make it at advantage for reciting the poem.
You got a 15 on the first roll, so I
Okay.
think I'm good here.
First one's a pass. You feel this spirit as it's mocking you in your head push against your defenses. And everybody just sees Mordella just standing there locked in place. And she begins sweating. And there's an intensity in her. How are you all reacting?
Mental, like visually, I know something's going wrong, obviously. Can I tell that she's fighting against something? Or does it look like she's just stuck?
Make an Arcana check.
Because so cards on the table. What I want to do is cast resistance, but I don't know if I would know to cast resistance. That's why I was asking.
Okay.
So with the Arcana check, not great. I rolled a 3 on the die.
Yeah, Vrack has no idea.
We're doing great. We're doing
this
great.
Is. You don't know what the cause is. You're looking up to the peaks of this valley you're in, trying to see if someone cast a spell. You are looking around for a threat that you cannot see.
So
Vrack, do something.
Timber keeps trying. He starts to cast dispel magic, but then he stops himself because he isn't sure if. Like, it looks like Mordella might be fighting against something, and he doesn't want to cast dispel magic, and it stops Mordella's ability to do what she is doing. So he is just in a constant flux of starting to cast dispel magic, but then stopping himself because he's not sure what would happen.
You did say Mordella lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm
Or
going to rush
undead.
over.
Yeah.
I'm undead specifically. Thank you for specifying. I'm going to rush over and put a hand on each shoulder and try to. I got one more channel divinity for the day. I'm going to try to turn undead.
Okay.
And the DC on that is not very high, but it's worth a shot. 1 second. 15. It is I want to say wisdom.
This thing is locked in, but what I will do is, because that was such a good roll, or such a good save DC, but it did pass. It didn't pass by much. I'm going to lower the DC by 3 on your next wisdom saving throw, Mordella. So you actually have a 10.
Should I roll this one with advantage or not?
Are you still repeating the poem?
That's what her main instrument is going to be at this point.
Yes. Plus with Vrack using the turn undead.
All right. Well, I got a 10 on one of the dice. The other one was a 1, so looks like we're good. 15. 15.
Okay. You begin to expel this spirit, but it's got its claws dug in. You guys notice as Mordella is beginning to get movement into her fingers and hands, and she's beginning to clench her fist up. But whatever battle she's fighting, it does appear that she's winning.
Vrack, it's working. Keep it up.
Can I roll a flat wisdom check to see if resistance would help
Yeah, go ahead.
with this, or would it have to be Arcana?
I'll let you use a wisdom check for this one.
Okay, so +4. 23.
23. Can you read resistance off to me?
Yeah.
Verbatim,
Resistance
and I will tell you.
says verbatim. Touch one willing creature once before the spell ends. The target can roll a d4 and add the number saved to one saving throw of its choice.
Yes. You think that casting that will help?
Okay. I'll go ahead and keep my hands on Mordella's shoulders and cast resistance.
Alright, so I get to add a d4.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
And in your head, Mordella, you hear this voice screaming at you now. You don't get to call me and then expel me.
She just keeps repeating the poem, just trying her best to ignore anything else that's going on and focus on getting rid of the malevolent spirit that she wasn't able to rein in.
Final wisdom saving throw, DC 17, but you get to add the D4.
Right? 10 plus 4 plus 5, 19.
19. And it is, every muscle in your body is tensed up as you are fighting this off. And you feel this entity gripping onto your very soul, and it feels like it might rip it out with it as you repeat this poem in your head. And there is just this moment of fear in you that this is what you get for playing with magic this way. This is what all the warnings were. This is what's happening to your mother right now as you stand here, and you invited this thing willingly. What were you thinking? But in an instant, you feel the presence of the moon goddess wash over you and expel the spirit. And it is instant relief as Mordella collapses down to her knees, panting heavily, sweating profusely, but free from this entity.
She like clutches her chest and continues coughing. She like kind of looks around at everybody. You can see like panic and fear in her eyes. Also embarrassment.
Yeah, hey Mordella, what the fuck was that?
So just
I caught a bad spirit.
for mechanics, you only get one of those spirits you attempted to bind.
Yeah, the one that I first rolled on, which was the hunger one. So what about the spell slot I was trying to use for the other one? Do I lose it or keep it?
No, but thank you for reminding. You do take a point of exhaustion as well.
Okay.
Timber walks up and he druid crafts a puff of wind to try to cool her down and get the sweat off her brow.
After just
Thank
seeing
you,
her whole
Timber.
body seize, I'll probably just get out my tankard plenty, and say the word quietly, and then just hand her the full tankard.
Ooh, does Mordella take the alcohol? Mordella doesn't drink.
No. She every once in a while does drink, but this is an instance where she would not drink. She just pushes it away and she says, I don't need that, I don't even need water. So I got one of them. I just didn't get the other one. It almost got me
Oh.
instead.
Billy's gonna kind of back up a little bit and then start drinking.
She just kind of like pushes her palms against the stand and sits herself up. And then comes to a standing position and dusts her palms off and she says, alright, I'm ready.
Mordella, you're okay now?
She just kind of like chuckles a little bit and she says, no, not really, but it's just been a weird day. I think that spirit might have come after me because of me participating in the attack against that coven. However, the mirror won't be wrested away from us. It just won't happen.
Of course not, darling. Would you like to walk with me as we explore this, or would you rather stay out here while I go look at the shrine some more?
She steps right up next to Winter.
Winter, do you step
So-
inside?
I do.
As soon as you break the threshold on the archway, the temperature instantly drops to a cool 69, and you feel relief wash over you. Mordella, do you step inside?
Yeah, I follow right behind Winter.
Yeah, same thing. And your point of exhaustion goes away.
Oh,
This is a
how
magical rest
lucky.
stop in the desert.
Holy shit. That is like insane
Yeah.
luck right there to have that go away immediately. Fucking A. Whew.
When Winter leans over to Mordella and goes, "So it's completely your decision, but I vote we don't tell Timber about this."
Whatever you say.
Yeah, it's just a
Nice.
nice little peaceful place to take a seat, take a rest, cool off. And it does radiate with magic in here. It is a magical space.
Just sitting inside feeling the relaxing coolness and staring out the door at Ildane in that heavy,
Yep.
heavy armor. Just imagining how they must be cooking inside that thing.
Well, Dane,
And
are
just
you sure
really-
you don't want some shade?
Appreciating this moment.
Just really ask. Oh, because I'd go in the shade with my beer.
Yeah, and it is like, you know, July in California, stepping into an air-conditioned building. Just that instant wash of relief.
I'll probably like sit down or lean up against something and just kind of like, you know how when you're driving down the road and you put your arm out the window and it like goes right through your pits,
Yep.
like, and it like blows up your shirt and
Yep.
stuff. That's kind of what Ildane's like. She's like puffing out the armor so the air circulates through it.
That's fucking perfect. That's so perfect. Oh my goodness.
So, Thranduil, do you think is the plan to just go south from here? What do you think?
Well, as soon as we figure out where we are, I suppose I'll have to find our way back on the road and try to navigate our way back towards Blackthorn, if that's the plan. At least it is for me. But if you're just wanting to go straight through to the city, I can show you here on your map the best route that I'd probably recommend taking. From what little I know, of course, we are stationed here for a little while. It truly is a hell pit. Man, I'm losing that accent quick.
Drink a couple more
Well,
beers,
it's-
buddy.
Yeah, I think we'll, I think our paths still go the same direction for a little bit, and then we will see what happens then.
By the way, I spent hours yesterday creating this map just to introduce air conditioning into Minhal. That is it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Ildane in her armor. Thanks you.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
Mordella is gonna step out and join the boys outside. And Vrek, of course.
Thranduil's actually going to start removing pieces of his armor and
Yep.
packing them into his backpack. Yeah, he's going to fold up his coat, his jacket, and unequip it. And he's going to take his cloak and just that'll be the only thing he covers himself with and puts his hood up, just to try to stay as lightweight as possible and with as much shade over his skin as possible.
Yeah. You guys get the feeling after spending some time in this heat that Thank goodness Mordella has that decanter of endless water, because you are already getting thirsty. Out here in the noonday sun.
Mozilla pass it off freely. Anybody that wants it. You notice she doesn't even use it.
Question.
Yes.
Will the heat affect me as much if I'm invisible?
You know, your clothes and stuff become transparent, so I guess it wouldn't absorb the heat quite as much, but invisibility doesn't last that long.
An hour. Yeah, I mean, it might be in a dire circumstance nice to have.
Yeah.
Also, it just makes you invisible. It doesn't like disintegrate your body into a
Yeah, but
gaseous
light
form.
passes
Like
through,
you'd still hear
therefore.
it.
Yeah, so she would still deal with like the ambient temperature, but as far as like her clothes absorbing the heat from the light rays, since light would pass just through, it would be slightly cooler, almost like standing in the shade.
In winter, you want to carry my armor.
Put it
I
on the
was actually
cart.
going to say, I have the soul of the forge now from hitting level 6 as a forge cleric. I
Yeah,
have resistance to fire damage. How am I doing with this heat?
yeah, it's affecting you a little less.
Like, I'm still going to need water, obviously, but like,
Yeah, and instead of feeling like 106, it feels like 90.
could be worse.
Heat is only half the battle. You start sweating in your armor tonight, you're going to freeze to death.
Mm.
We don't have to worry about the night once we camp. I can throw up a nice little magic tiny hut. I can control the climate inside, and we will be perfectly comfortable. As Timber's fanning his face with his own wings.
Now that is the
Mordella
best thing I've
also
heard all day.
Mordella also speaks up to remind the group and says, "I did buy 10 bars of soap before we left.
And
Don't be shy. Don't
Timber,
be shy."
Timber, you're starting to question whether corduroy was the right choice for your ropes.
it's a bit thick. We're okay. So Timber just so he opens the robe up in front and just kind of lets it hang open.
Oh yeah, Jeff Goldblum style.
Yeah, how are we talking like hairy chest, no hair? What are we looking at for Timber?
Perfectly shorn.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
I love you guys. So yeah, you're at
Looks
this
like
shrine. You're at the
like
beginning.
a miniature David statue.
Right? Like, I'd imagine when the sun hits his chest, like it gleams just a slight bit. Just a
Yeah,
couple
it's almost like
individual
the
sweat drops trickle.
it's not quite the level of the Twilight vampires, but there's definitely like a twinkle in the
I
reflection.
was gonna say we shake glitter vampires for free.
Are we done with the
Timber can't
Abercrombie
help his
commercial?
complexion.
gentlemen?
Okay, yeah. Okay, well,
We're
you
gonna
know,
run with this one for a little bit. You
this
hang
is
out. We're
important
good.
campaign fodder. This is building towards something. All right, I could feel it.
This is Ursa and the waterfall all over again.
Don't remind me, dude. That was that was a session. This is a session. We're having fun.
Exactly.
Winter walks out of the shrine and goes, "Okay, it was funny. Now it's just weird." And then is going to try to pick up Timber and like put him inside the shrine. Being very careful to only grab him by like the robes over his shoulders, not like actually touch any bare skin.
Make opposed.
So Timber
athletic.
and
Do you
his-
resist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Opposed
I'm not a
athletics checks.
Oh no.
Between the wizard and the bard.
Yeah. Right.
This is either going to be epic or pathetic.
Well, I get a -2 to this, so
Oh,
It's going to be a 6 and a 9.
8.
17.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Despite your resistance, this dragonborn, it's a dragonborn, Timber, and you're a fairy. She walks over and picks you up by the robes and starts carrying you towards the shrine.
This is not necessary. I am just put me down, please.
Winter walks into the shrine and just sets him, like, just drops him.
Timber, for you, there's no effect. It is still just as hot in here as it was outside. I'm kidding. It's cool. You feel the relief.
Oh. Oh, damn! I was getting ready to roleplay that. All right.
No.
Randall's gonna puff his Randall puffs his chest up and he's like huffing, he's like rolling his sleeves up like, you don't want to go getting acclimated to the cold or else this trip's gonna get much worse on you.
I call out from in there, yeah, but like it feels really fucking good right now.
Yeah, you just wait till you get 3 miles into this heat. You're not gonna be saying that. You're gonna be pouring sweat. It's gonna be, you're gonna stink.
I'm sitting here in chainmail, not sweating at all.
Well, yeah,
Sound good.
You can't stay in that forever.
Randall,
What?
understandably, we have to leave. Wouldn't you like to feel one more good thing before we go into what you described as the hell pits?
Absolutely not. My survival instincts say I must stay acclimated to the warm. I must de-erode my armor. I mean, we've trained for this. We've traveled. I mean, come on, guys. This accent's gone. It's
Sometimes
gone.
when the universe gives you something, you just take it.
Yeah, you look it right in the eyes and you say, what are you trying to get from me, you wee whimsical devil? And you say no. And you tough it out.
The whole time, Fracture's sitting there like, it's not that bad. It's hot, but it's not. I'm not gonna die.
Don't.
Well, I
Never
got
mind.
fair
Never mind.
skin.
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm still
enjoying
not
this. You
gonna
guys
stay.
just let me know when you're ready to head south. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy it now.
Thranduil's just gonna like stomp off and like put his hand up to his brow and look around and pretend like he knows what he's doing out here.
Oh, that's great.
I am gonna sit in there and then ask kind of like a mechanics question because like Ildane is thinking of like it's obviously this hot already, and the only reason I'm like not dying is because of this like air conditioning type thing, and so she wants to be calculating like how long could I actually last in full armor, or is there some way that I could go like down a little bit, get like some protection, but
Keep
not
the
all
shield.
of it.
It's the armor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like with, and then, or if they could just do the
You
shield
can travel in your armor. It's just gonna be uncomfortable and kind of slow you down. That's gonna be the mechanic. The more armor you're wearing, the slower you're gonna have to travel just due to discomfort and chafing.
Fuck.
Lots
Alright,
and
25
lots
feet.
of chafing.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna take the armor off, keep the shield up, so I
Yeah,
have
you
some
can kind of use
protection.
it like, yeah, hold it over your head for shade.
Mordella's gonna ride her broom.
That's smart. We
If
haven't
we're
really
trying
seen
to
that
use the
broom.
least resources, I can ride the broom. I don't need water or food. I have the decanter of endless water. At some point, we're eating my horse. I'm sorry. I know it's gonna be sad, but we're eating that horse at some point. Mordella's already
Ildane
looking at
is
it and
like,
kind of licking her chops.
coming. Ildane is coming to this realization right now as she's on her pony, like riding along, and she looks over and sees Mordella on the broom, and then the fucking fairy flying. I'm just like, oh god, no, they're really gonna eat him. So you can just see
Like,
this on her face as she just comes to it.
If they were camels, not horses, they'd stand a chance, but horses traveling through the desert, they are gonna get tired so damn fast. Like, It's not gonna be funny how quickly we don't have horses.
Mine is a Snow White Shetland pony. It has long hair to survive in the cold.
Yeah, and
You brought
Anvil
the
is like a
Alaskan Husky of
gigantic.
horses to the desert. How dare you?
Right, exactly. Like,
Anvil's just this gigantic black war horse, and if we're doing the math on whose horse is getting eaten first, Vrack has got her hand on his neck, and they're slowly walking away from the group because she doesn't want to part with him just yet. But he is a huge, very feast upon able horse.
all right, Timber
Sad that
stops.
our group has come to this already.
It's like Timber stops poking the rump of Mordella's horse, like to feel the firmness, and goes, "All right, we are probably getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. You don't have to eat the horses yet."
You've been in the
Right,
desert
they are-
10 minutes,
would-
guys.
If anybody hasn't named their horse yet, I wouldn't recommend doing it now. But let's
I-
just, let's,
I,
let's just keep going, and we'll be good.
I named my horse Biscuit.
See, you might have known this was coming all along.
It's fine. They've trained for this. Vrak can carve them new legs out of tree stumps. They don't need them.
I'm not trained to be eaten.
Okay, but I think we're all just panicking about this when, this is, days or hours away. Let's get moving first.
I vote we get on the move.
Weeks.
You guys roll perception.
We're gonna have to eat each other, guys.
Perception.
All right, so 19 Mordella.
19 for Vrack.
22.
The winds are starting to pick up. It kind of, if it weren't for the gritty sand,
Eight.
it's starting to feel. Yeah. So you guys notice as the winds are starting to pick up and the sand is kind of being carried by it.
I'm gonna say Ildane has no clue as because of what she rolled, and so she's still like yelling at people to not eat horses or something.
Have
right,
we
so-
decided to start heading south?
Yes, I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
think we're heading south with Thranduil, Thranduil in the lead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fake it till I make it.
You guys leave your sanctuary and begin to come out of this valley. And ahead of you, you see two silhouettes kind of meandering about. They seem to be looking for something on the ground as you guys exit this valley into the open.
Randall's going to cut one of the rip one of the sleeves of his shirt off, and then like tie it as like a bandana over his face to kind of like cover up who he is and just look like more of like a desert traveler.
Okay.
So we just watched our scout rip off his shirt and then put it on his head.
Just a sleeve.
Okay, that's still fucked up.
It's to protect your
This
mouth from the sun.
desert got into our heads quick.
Yeah.
How high up is this, plateau thing here?
I'd say that one is probably 70, 80 feet. It's tall. Really hard to gauge perspective on this. But yeah, those are tall plateaus. You guys were in a deep valley.
Mordella is going to fly her broom over to the shade.
Okay, are you trying to do so stealthily? Or you just fly over?
Not really. She's gonna ride up, and if the nomads look up at her, she's gonna like kind of hail them and
Yeah, they kind of put their arms up to the sun and they see you there and kind of. And a lady flying on a broom is not something you see every day.
what do these folks look like?
It's hard to tell because they're wearing full-length robes with hoods pulled up and scarves wrapped around them to kind of protect them from the sand and the wind. But if you take roll me a perception check.
3.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell through all that clothing. If anybody else wants to roll, just let me know and tell me what you roll.
You said perception.
Yes.
Dirty
No,
20.
they got a 22.
Yeah, you guys have seen this kind of people before. Just recently, their faces are furry and they kind of have the eyes of cats.
Cordella says,
Like-
"Are you travelers?"
Well, but who are you, friend? As they keep holding their hands up to block out the sun that's coming from behind you guys so they can kind of catch a glance. The sun is behind you guys, as you can tell from the shadows, so they are perfectly in view, but they have to hold up their hands to shield their eyes to see you.
Come on over into the shade. I'm nobody important. I won't hurt you.
This one begins to make its way over and closer. And then the other one follows.
A group of you first.
You're not really from around here, I can tell. You don't appear to be dressed for the dunes.
Not quite. My friends and I here are going to be traveling through. Is this your area?
Oh, yes, we traveling through. Where are you headed?
That's none of your concern. What tribe do you belong to?
Oh, it's not really a tribe. We have a little settlement near here. It's nothing too fancy. We're just out here searching for amethyst.
While
Tell me.
she's talking to them, Ildane, like knowing the like racial makeup of our party now, would see this like Tabaxi like character and actually be interested in seeing it. So mechanically, I just want to move her up towards the front, but I'm saying that's what would be drawing her up there.
Okay. Yeah, you step forward as well. And they wave and as you approach, and we don't get many dwarves in the dunes, that's for sure. But
What is your toll?
toll?
What does it cost to pass through your area? And we
Oh,
want to be guaranteed to not be attacked in your area.
you take us for savages. I see.
No. We don't take you for savages. I understand, and I also live in an area where sometimes tolls are paid when you pass through certain tribes' areas.
No tolls. Can I have Mordella, since you're the one speaking, roll a d10 for me?
A D10. I've got a 7.
7. The winds are really beginning to pick up and pelting the sand, and they're kind of holding their hands up. And, well, no toll, but it's showing signs of a sandstorm. If you guys would like to come back to the settlement, we could there's water and amenities, and we're being so rude. My name is Wind Through the Keyhole. You are...
My name is
I'll
Mordella.
step forward and say Ildane. And then I'm just gonna say, like, kind of off to the side to Mordell and be like, it seems as though if a strange old dude, I mean, god, is pointing us this direction.
It could definitely be that way. And if indeed a sandstorm is coming, and she kind of looks back at Randall and says, "What do you think, Ranger? Sandstorm or no?"
If there truly is a sandstorm, I suggest we take cover immediately. We won't last long out here, weather like that. And then he's
Wind
going
through the keyhole. Please lead us to your settlement.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't believe us about the sandstorm and these winds aren't proof enough for you, could always fly up. It's probably only a couple miles out now. They happen a lot over the past year or two.
I have no reason not to believe you.
Okay. Yes, we're not gonna find any stones in a sandstorm, so yes, we'll gladly lead you back. Just know that you haven't spent much time in the dunes, so our cultures may not be the same. Do not take offense if our people don't really understand your ways and us yours. But we are quite polite, and I'm very sorry that you assumed there would be a toll, but we shall lead you.
Mordella just looks confused, like I don't understand the hang up about the toll thing. It's so normal, but it's fine. Yeah. Also, I would implore my group to search your pockets for amethyst. That's what our friends here were looking for. Isn't that right? Went through the keyhole.
Oh, yes. Or, any real blue items that you might have. Blue is an important color for us.
Miss Wind Through the Keyhole.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Tierwin. I was curious. Tierwin, yes. I'm from the woodland realms. I was curious if you've seen any other travelers through here recently that quite look like ourselves.
There was a man with a group with him. They were not as polite as you. We did not take them back to...
Did he carry on him a rapier on his side? Black in color?
Yes, and it seemed to drip with ichor and radiate just nasty energy.
Right. He's actually one of our front vanguard. He was supposed to be reporting back any of his findings.
With him?
Well, he's kind of an unsavory character, but he guards our best intentions. So, did he say if he was coming back?
We did not interact with him. We heard him from a distance in the manner in which he spoke, and we avoided him. We hid away.
Probably for the best. Did he mention where he was going?
We didn't overhear anything. Like I said, we kept our distance, but you're only a day behind.
I know, but we are quite slow on the road. Listen, I appreciate that. If you happen, perchance, to spot him, would you mind letting us know so we could report back to him?
If you're still within our territory, we would be willing to do that.
We would most obliged.
Do you have anything blue?
Oh, let me check.
Can I do it? Can I do an insight check?
Yes.
Or perception, whatever will give me the highest amount. Just that's not good. 13. Basically, I'm looking because I know when first met Winter, I remembered asking her like something about her skin because I was fascinated, and I remember her saying she had amethyst stones, and looking at Winter right now and seeing a purple ass dragon. And then hearing the conversation where they were looking for amethysts and they're asking for something blue, that's just kind of setting off this like, hey, something's not right.
They do seem to you, they've been nothing but polite. They're not giving off any kind of like violent or dangerous vibes, but they do seem to really be obsessed with the color blue and looking for stones and trinkets. And I assumed that Winter was covering up with her cloak, so they haven't really, and she is behind the front lines of you, Thranduil and Mordella, so she's not exactly in focus.
Timber walks up. He goes, well, thank you for your hospitality. And he druid crafts a blue flower and hands it to him.
And the smaller of the two, who hasn't spoken yet, takes it quickly and holds it up and is adoring it. That's footsteps in the sand, and unfortunately, he cannot speak.
There is no speaking necessary when we are just grateful to be in each other's company. Please, let's start making our way away from the sandstorm.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. If you guys wouldn't mind, do you have trinkets that are blue?
The only thing I have is Thranduil's gonna pull his last lightning arrow out of his quiver, and he's gonna like spark it against the edge of the quiver and just like let it flash blue. Would this be something you'd be interested in?
Of course.
No, Hilda's gonna be like, what? So, no, let's just like, are they offering a trade?
They're gonna lead you to their settlement, and they just seem to really like the color blue and have a fascination with it.
Can I like give them a copper piece instead?
He looks at the coin she looks at the coin and thank you. It's not very blue, but I appreciate the gesture. But the storm's approaching. We should probably make our way. And if you guys choose to follow, they're going to start heading down here to the southeast. And
Mordella whispers to the group as they're leaving, like, don't show them the decanter. The decanter of endless water is blue. Do not show that to them. We cannot trade that. We cannot give that up. At least not now. At least let's get out of the desert and then get rid of it.
As you guys are walking, and it's 20 minutes. Oh, go ahead, Timber.
I was just agreeing with Mordella, although I am curious how our horses are looking.
They seem very uncomfortable, but they are trudging along.
No, but do they look tasty?
I'm sitting there looking at you guys, looking at his pony, and I'm like, I could carry it.
And actually, the smaller
When a steak
the
is served
tabaxi,
really raw, they call it blue. I mean, can we get away with that?
the smaller of the tabaxi actually seems fascinated by your pony, Timber, and He kind of looks at you for permission to pet, holding his hand out.
Yes, please. Snowflake is quite the timid and friendly and I'm hoping succulent animal. Please.
His eyes kind of widen a bit, but he reaches out and pets the pony, but doesn't break eye
So-
contact with you, having said that.
And Ildade's like, so, Tabaxi, what do you guys eat out here in the desert?
Well, Callisto provides even out here. There's snakes and other creatures. Scorpion is quite the delicacy. I make a really fine scorpion soup if you'd like to try it. What do you think?
All probably
Ildane?
conversations we could have out of
You want to eat
that.
arachnids, Ildane? Huh? You want to eat
No.
arachnids?
Part of me is going, could there be a scorpion armor piece in this for me? Oh, wait, no. No, no.
So, you guys travel and you're walking southeast and you break from this kind of valley area into more open dunes as they're leading you along, and you see in the distance out on the horizon as this rolling cloud of sand is making its way, and the winds are starting to pelt you guys, and it's becoming quite uncomfortable. If you're not shielding your eyes, then it's getting in your eyes. If your mouth isn't covered, your nose isn't covered, you're starting to get pelted with this sand. Ildane still in your armor. It's providing you some relief from the grit, but your face
I'm
is
probably
unprotected.
like I'm totally gonna like drink the Kool-Aid vibes from these people. And so I'm gonna be uncomfortable, but I did want to say that like I did see that Thranduil's like not getting the shit in his face, so I'd actually like to rip my sleeve off as well, and then do what he's doing, because I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna make fun of him anymore if it actually like works.
Yeah, and it does provide protection.
Yeah, and then just be miserable.
And you guys begin to see in the distance this almost like temple-like structure that they're leading you to. And it's got some buildings, but what catches your eyes is this giant statue of a dragon that makes up the center point of this structure, and the winds are bearing down on you, so it's kind of hard to make it out, but you definitely see the silhouette of a stone dragon. And you guys finally make your way to this temple.
Ildane probably saw that shrine and went, well, maybe I'm switching to a different god again. It's like, she would have been horrible in seeing like potential. The first thought I had in my head was air conditioning.
Yeah, and they lead you in, and as soon as you come within the walls, if you follow them within the walls, it is shielded in here from the sands and the winds. And
Nice.
Wind through the keyhole is looking at you and beckons you guys forth, and you guys notice she walks right up the tongue and down into this statue. Do you follow?
These dragon gods and their shrines. I tell you.
Mordella is following.
Okay.
Winter is following Mordella, but her cloak is up because she did hear the cat people talking about wanting amethysts, and she does have what looks to be amethyst embedded in her skin, and she's not entirely sure what they would do, so she's just kind of covering it up, but she is looking in awe at the dragon as she climbs over its stone tongue.
As soon as you guys climb up the tongue, about halfway it turns into stairs, and there's this hallway back through its throat, and then a giant marble staircase that leads down. And they beckon you forward. And when you guys finally break through to the other side, you realize you're kind of in this oasis that's deeply cut into the desert. And there are people milling about, and most of them tabaxi, but there are some humans and other people in here, and they're all dressed. A lot of them seem to be working on various things, carrying stuff to and fro. But what really catches your guys' eye is down at the bottom of this oasis, in this giant pool of crystal clear water swimming around, is an adult blue dragon.
We are the sacrifice. That explains the obsession with blue.
Oh boy.
Welcome. They turn to you and they look like you should be impressed at just the sheer awe and wonder of what they are showing you. And nobody in here seems to be in fear or petrified, and everybody seems to have their purpose. And there's a waterfall here in the desert as you hear the storm start to roar out above you. But down here, you seem to be sheltered. And wind through the keyhole. By the way, Nick, do you like the reference, or?
Oh yeah, I noticed it immediately.
Welcome to the Palace of Raguavoc.
Thank you for this kind welcome.
Yes. It's kind of customary. I don't know if it will make you uncomfortable to meet the Queen upon arrival.
Certainly.
Timber comes forward. It's like, oh, I am quite accomplished with the royalty. It would be my pleasure to speak to her and give her our greetings.
Oh, yes, follow us. And it doesn't take long into this walk down the stairs to realize you're not going to one of these alcoves. There's not somebody waiting for you in a throne room. They are leading you to the dragon down in the pool.
Once Winter sees that, she kind of hurries down the stairs because there's no way she's going to let Timber accidentally insult a dragon
Winter,
in its
in your head,
its home.
you hear the voice of Demvir. Tread carefully, young one. Do not trust her.
She kind of puts a thumbs up to the air
And the nomads.
in her attempt at subtlety, and then goes down the stairs.
The
Brack wants to
nomads.
grab Timber before we get to the bottom of the steps.
Nobody
So, like,
else
right
heard
where
this.
elbowing?
You have been following willingly
Oh, no,
for
no, no,
40
no.
minutes.
No. I wanted to say something before you said something about that. Mine is specifically for Timber.
Okay.
Timber,
Yes.
please do not try to sleep with this dragon.
Oh, oh, that is not my intentions. I have my flavors, but they are rarely scaly. So-
Also, the size discrepancy would be. I have
We
questions.
just saw a dragon god turn into a human.
as far as your size discrepancy questions that you have, I have the answers, but that's for another day. I will just, no. I am here to pay my respects, and we'll be fine. Thank you. I do appreciate the advice, though, Vrac. Thank you.
Timber knows how to handle himself around a royalty. Right, Timber?
White.
I'm worried about what he thinks handling means.
Timber is proof you don't have to be a bard to be super horny.
As you guys step
I-
up, go ahead.
Yeah. I was just like, Ildane is still like on the this is a big ass dragon, and not that dragon can fit themselves into an elf body. Like, I guess when Winter talks about Navir and stuff like that, I think I like augment him into two different beings. And so seeing it and then realizing that they can transform into that, I'm still on the Timber and it getting together kind of visualization.
Dragon Slayer, as you descend these stairs and get closer to this dragon, you realize why your brother laughed at Thranduil calling you Dragon Slayer. That wyvern that you faced in that cavern is a mouse next to a Great Dane in comparison to the size of the creature that is resting in this pool.
Figuratively, Ildane just peed herself a little.
While the size is intimidating, this dragon is beautiful and glistening with the water as it's swimming around, and you hear the nomad off to the side. My queen, visitors in your domain, they gave gifts, and he shows the copper piece and the flower. And the dragon...
Oh, my bad.
The dragon head dove down, and then its head comes up like an alligator poking through, and it snakes through the water to the edge, and it looks down at the flower and the copper, and it leans over and turns its long neck to face you, and you all are now 15 feet from this beast. Looks down. This is all you have given. Were my servants impolite?
If we may, your servants asked specifically for something blue, so we may have misunderstood the importance of bringing an impressive offering. We lack the amount of blue necessary, but I'm sure we could come up with a generous offering for one such as yourself.
I think you could. After all, you're taking shelter, and there are other ways to pay homage to a queen. Perhaps. And she looks you guys over. And if a dragon could bite its lower lip, it does. And I have only recently, come into the possession of some rather fine fashion. Obviously, being as I am majestic, I can't wear them myself. How about a fashion show?
Yeah, of course.
Wind,
Go try your stuff, Timber.
get the trunks. And they all hurry off to gather some materials. And they come back lugging these big trunks filled to the brim with ridiculous fancy clothing from around the mainlands. How they arrived here, you guys don't know. And they open up the chests, and there are clothes in here. Would you guys like to model for my dragon?
Mordella,
Fran-
without hesitation, just starts taking her clothes off and grabbing stuff out of there, trying it on.
Oh, you notice the tabaxis kind of cover their eyes, and we do not understand their culture. We do not understand their culture.
Mordella's just like, what? She like throws whatever dress or whatever on. She's like, what is the big deal?
And Winter make a history or insight check or something to see if this blue dragon can see through invisibility.
Let me pull up a stat block real quick.
What you're doing, that Timber starts like looking through the chests for children's clothing that will fit him. It's like just everything.
Thranduil asked Timber if he still has the gift, his birthday gift.
Oh, the sailor outfit.
Yes.
You can make an insight check or a history check, whichever.
Then a 22.
A 22? You don't think that the dragon can see invisibility, but you do know that blue dragons have very good blind sight and almost an echolocation of sorts.
That's unfortunate. Winter's gonna like shuffle slightly as far as she can under her little hoodie and then just try to figure out what's between her and the nearest object she could use to block the dragon's view of her, like just debating how far she could get away before she's noticed that she's like been scooting away from this very slowly the entire time.
1 second. You're going to try to stealth away?
Depends. How high is the DC?
Well, I will let you know she has a plus 12 to perception, even though I don't have to give you that.
That was really generous. Holy shit. Oh, yeah, that's pretty high.
DC.
Timber turns to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say DC.
No, you go ahead.
With what I just rolled is a 27.
So I just have to roll like an 18.
Yeah, just an 18.
Jesus. Can I give bardic inspiration to myself?
No.
You just start
I
singing
don't
now
think
as
so.
you try to sneak away? I don't think so.
That should give you disadvantage.
Okay, Winter's just gonna stand like behind everyone and just not move.
So Timber turns to everybody's like, okay. So key to dealing with powerful people is, we are a guest in her house. And when you're dealing with very powerful people, you never kink shame. Okay, so if she wants a fashion show, you should give her a fashion show. And he just starts taking off his robe. And he reaches into his backpack and he looks over at Randall and just shakes his head and pulls out his little sailor hat, puts it on, and starts putting on his sailor outfit. And then he struts it. He's like Right Said Fred out there on the runway, just shaking
We'll
it.
get to the strutting part soon. Ildane, Winter, Vrack, Thranduil, do you begin to change your clothes?
Brad's definitely looking around uncomfortable. There is a gigantic dragon 15 feet away from her that could snap her up at any moment. I think this is the time where we do what the big dragon wants us to do. So I'm going to start taking off armor pieces. It's going to take 10 minutes, but I'll get there eventually.
I do want you guys to know that they now think it's customary for you to get naked in public, but you don't have to if you're uncomfortable. There is a place that they were going to lead you to change your clothes.
Ember's like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I was gonna say, yeah, Mordella's just used to, whatever's gotta happen sometimes. It's like, yeah, fine. This is fine.
Old Dane's probably just trying to look in the box to see if there's even anything that fits, like, her size that's not a child's stuff.
You saw when Mordella put on that dress that it magically formed to her size. This is very expensive, very fancy clothing. It seems to be magical and could take the size and shape of one who puts it on. There must be thousands and thousands and thousands of gold worth of clothes in this chest.
Then I'm a dwarf, so I probably think I know what style is. So I'm going to pick out like these just weird ass garments that probably don't work, but are more functional. Yeah. I'm going for functional fashion. So yeah, that's what I'll be. And I'll probably go off to like the side just because like getting off your pack and your shield and shit like that, you're gonna need to like rest it on something.
Next to this water and the air moving down here as you remove the armor, it feels good.
Probably regretting keeping it on that long, but I'm still taking it off and getting in what I think is fashionable.
Mortella, as you're getting dressed, you roll a perception check.
Sure thing. 10.
Well, it's not hard. The DC was only 8 because that gold behind you, that's just a pile of gold coins at the foot of that stairs. And as you guys kind of look around, there's just money laying everywhere in front of this pool. It is... This queen has gotten quite a few donations and gifts from travelers, it would seem.
I figure that as soon as we walked in, we probably noticed at least a few expensive trinkets right off the get-go, which, made that copper and that flower quite embarrassing. And I plan to try to rectify that at some point, but, holy cow. I
definitely tried to give you guys a bunch of opportunities.
Hey, I mean, they kept focusing on blue things, and I'm like, well, the only blue thing I had was that decanter. I'm not giving them that shit.
Yep. And
I spent 10 minutes looking up how the fuck to make cobalt blue, because that's the only blue metal I could fucking think of. Like, I could just give them a chunk of cobalt, but no, cobalt's still silver.
Yep.
So I've been trying to like figure out how to give them a chunk of blue metal, and it is not working.
Is mithril blue?
Mithril's really silver. Yeah.
But because I was going to use my channel divinity and make just a gigantic hunk of blue metal. But one, I'd have to know metals outside of forging metals, and two, a metal would have to exist that is more blue than silver, and I can't find any right now.
You actually, Brack, roll a... You've got good wisdom, right?
18.
Roll an insight.
I've got proficiency in that.
And actually, since this has to do with metal, do so with advantage.
Perfect.
Out of character, the only thing I can think of is like maybe copper that oxidizes. It turns into like a greenish blue.
That's what I was thinking. Well, that's what sent me down the path.
That's what this insight roll is actually for. Copper actually rusts blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
Copper Penny was great.
I got a 21.
21. You think maybe if you can try magically to rust some of the copper you got on you, you might be able to make it blue?
Okay. Well, then I won't
But
participate
part
in
of
the
that
fashion show.
bothers you, the idea of purposely rusting metal kind of feels dirty to you.
It feels dirty, but like I also want to survive. You know, like the way the dragon said, were my servants impolite?" I just am like, I don't want them to kill us, but I don't I don't want her to kill them either, because they didn't impress upon us the fact that we, kind of need a offering of some sort. So I'm gonna sit out of the fashion show, but I do want to inform
Oh no, you're
this
not, my
gigantic,
friend.
majestic. Oh,
If you don't start getting dressed in the clothes this dragon has offered you, she's going to start to lean into those of you not getting dressed.
I
say
guess.
something sparkly in black.
Is the effort not worth the shelter?
Do you have anything in black?
I don't know. I've dig through the trunk.
So I think Rack's gonna look for like just a nice, a nicer looking than she's used to black dress. She's not growing up in the forge. You don't really get much. Let's call it Sunday clothes. You get work clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna look for something that she could never have had in like childhood or something. Something black, something fancy looking. Let's put some lace on there or something. Some nice textures, nice designs or something.
Amazing. Winter?
Winter is going to look through the clothes to try to find a dress or pantsuit or something that covers as much of her skin as possible and preferably comes with a hood, because the only blue thing she has to offer are embedded in her skin, and she already sold her soul this week, like yesterday, like in the same day.
It was
She's not
today, as
selling
a matter
any.
of fact.
What?
It was
It
today.
was
Yeah,
earlier
yes.
today.
Yeah, today. She already sold her soul today to a dragon. God or not, she's not going to sell anything, any other part of her today. She's done. She's met her quota for probably a lifetime. So she's gonna try to find like one of those Victorian funeral dresses where they were like very puffy, but they covered every like inch of skin, and one that comes with like a hood. And she's going to very like carefully, kind of like drape that over her first, and then like take her armor off from underneath and slowly wiggle it out so she doesn't show them any part of herself.
Okay. Thranduil, do you begin to change?
Thranduil's going to approach her and then like bow graciously, and then verbally and semantically cast Disguise Self on himself with Gloomstalker magic to appear as a buffer blue dragonborn, and wearing like a fancy cavalier outfit with a big long hat with a huge feather and like puffy doublets. And then he's going to lay 100 gold coins down in front of him, and then he's going to take out that lightning arrow and then like spark a Z into the ground with it, and then lay it on top, and then just keep bowing and to wait to see what she says.
She instantly puts her head down next to the arrow and seems fascinated with the magic. Oh, that is beautiful.
For you, my queen.
Oh, I like that a lot. And she picks up the arrow in her teeth and dives down and swims across and places it and this pile of gold behind the pool, and then dives back in. And then the nomads, after you guys have changed your clothes, they kind of point at this area of the map. And you guys notice there is a literal runway set up to walk out over this pool. Over here. And the dragon kind of swims up close and rests her head on that stone. Who wants to go first?
Look, Timber is a 2-foot. Timber is basically a porcelain doll that spent the last couple of years around in like famous people or important people. This is not the first time he's been asked to do a fashion show. So he flies right over to the top of the runway, and he just starts working it.
Okay. We are going to take a bio break, and then we are going to move into the fashion show, which has mechanics. So let's go ahead and take a 5-minute bio break. We'll meet back here at 17 after, and we will continue. Welcome everybody back, and I am going to show off to the world your guys' choice of fashion.
That's awesome.
Hang on, I don't
Yes.
think that's actually necessary.
No, that's
So-
it.
Yeah, we got to do it.
Here we have
You
Vrack's
got the
choice.
approximate height and everything.
This is very classy of Vrack. This is not what I would have pictured. This is the epitome of modern fashion, along with Mordella. It's sleek, it's shiny, it's everything a dragon can dream of. Thranduil? Interesting choice. Bold move to go with the feather. Ildane? It's definitely...
It's got pockets. Like, I even, like, kind of, like, pull them out. Like, it's got pockets.
It's definitely
And I'm like,
versatile.
I'm just so happy.
It's definitely versatile, and it's brave. Very, very brave. Winter? It's kind of muted. It's not as exciting as Winter's personality, but Winter's trying not to get filleted, so it makes sense. And finally, the creme de la creme. We have Timber in his little sailor outfit. Oh, man. You can't make this stuff up. Actually,
And those,
we can and
that's
we
it.
are.
That's kind of what
fit
we just
is
did. Yeah.
dope.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I was just
Thank
showing
you.
the stream your guys' choices of outfits.
Don't worry. For anybody who likes to drink something blue, I suggest Labatt Blue.
Not a
hell
sponsor.
Shameless plug. Now I'm gonna eat pretzels. So I'm gonna turn my camera.
All right. Timber is up first. Timber, this will be a series of 3 performance checks. Ascending DC unless you pull off some kind of flourish to make it fancy. Anything you do to enhance your performance will lower the DC. So Timber flies up. He takes his spot at the back of the runway. And tell us how it
Well,
looks.
So, like I said, not the first time. So I start off with a little blue steel, right? Just like starting off, looking away from the dragon. It's kind of like just slightly moving the hips, not a lot, just a little bit, right? Then just bam, snap the head around, give him that nice cold, that blue ice stare.
Ooh, no way. Go ahead. We're going to call this, I'll take 4 off for that, a DC 10 performance.
All right. 14.
There you go. You are rocking it. And the queen is, as soon as you snap that head around, you swear you heard a, oh, and you begin your walk.
Then, all right, so as soon as I'm done with that, snap around my bot like a full 180 twirl, and I start doing the Napoleon Dynamite dance.
Oh my
just-
goodness. I thought you wanted advantage
Oh
on
yeah,
this.
yes. No. Like we're working it. We're working it. All right. So
Okay.
we got our arms down. We're pumping. We're just we got the little. Hang on. Did my costume have little suspenders on it? Please tell me it did. Hang on. Oh hell yes. All right. So I'm running my fingers up and down underneath the suspenders, and then I pull them away from my chest, and I make really aggressive eye contact with the dragon, and I just move my thumbs, and they go snap right against my chest. I give her a little
Ooh,
wink.
DC 12.
16.
Awesome. Yeah.
This is a good time to point out. I
working.
have a -1 to charisma. These. So.
It's working though, Timber. It's working now. This is the most important part of any runway show. The stop, the pose, and the left turn.
This is good. I'm not an omni-turner. So I actually, instead of doing a true turn, I turn away from her as I'm still about halfway up, and I actually moonwalk back until I'm right so close that I can feel her breath ruffling the feathers of my wing. And at that point, I've been laying it on pretty thick. Now it's time to be subtle. Right? Subtle. So it's just a nice little slow turn. The head comes first, make eye contact, the shoulders follow, right? And then last, and I do mean last, it's hip time. So the hips just snap around into place.
And pose. Make a DC 14 performance check.
16.
There you go. You nail it, and
then,
she looks pleased. She almost purrs at you, and that breath that's billowing your clothes.
I just blow a little kiss and say, "You're welcome," and I turn and walk away.
You walk off. And who's next? That's a tough act to follow.
I think Ildate's going to, because she's gonna feel actually inspired. Like oddly, like all I can think of in my head is fucking I can't remember that DreamWorks movie, but it had Vector, the little like guy that was the villain. Anyway, just where he's dancing over the Shark Tank, and I just like I'm cracking up because that's what I'm seeing, and it's just I'm like okay, I can do this, and so I'm going out with like.
Before you go out, I'm going to say, with a little grin on my face that you have no idea what it's for, I'm just going to say, you got this. And I'm just going to like pat you on the back, but I'm also going to hit Thranduil and I think Mordella with a bless.
There you guys go. D4, right?
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Eldane.
You only get
All right,
one.
now I'm like, yeah, now I'm like super confident. So I'm just
Super
like going
confident.
down there, and I'm like fictional. So I'm showing like the pockets have function and how much like stuff I can put in my pocket. And I'm like, oh my god, these are the best pants. And then I show the extra pockets in the jacket and probably the fucking scarf because I don't know what the hell I have on. I just keep finding pockets everywhere.
DC 10
And then
performance check.
okay. Ooh, 11 on the dice, so 12.
Okay.
Nice.
You're starting this walk. What does this walk look like as you reach the halfway point?
Probably still finding more pockets. There is so many layers on this thing, and I actually kind of ran out of stuff to put in the pockets. So now I'm like, ooh, and I'm like taking stuff out of one pocket and putting it in another to show the size, like that you can put multiple things in pockets and stuff now. And I'm kind of like, showing the flexibility in it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what it's like, where you kind of like move your dress to the side and stuff to show like it like is frilly or whatever.
Mhm.
And so I'm just kind of like, I love this outfit. I'm so proud of it. So I'm just like functionality all the way.
DC 12 performance check. Don't forget you have plus.
Okay. 12 on the dice. I also love it.
Okay.
This is
Guys,
not
you
the
have
way
no
it's
idea
supposed to
how
go.
this is working, but Eldane is working it. This little dwarf is putting on a show. And you reach the end where you need your pose and your left turn. How do you cap this off?
So here's where all this face, like false confidence comes from. I'm gonna take a page out of Timber's book, and I'm gonna try to pose the most feminine way I know how to, and it's that like I think I think it was Marilyn Monroe that did it, where she like slightly bent over and pulled up. I'm probably wearing pants, so I probably pull up my pant leg, and I'm like doing the like I turn left and do kind of the side like coy thing, and then I pose, and then I'll just kind of like seamlessly like go off to the left.
DC 14 performance check.
Oh crap! Oh, I have Bard. Okay, yes. Yeah, that was cocked. 2 is a 6. It was a D8.
No, it's not bardic. It's bless. You get a D4.
No, it was bless. Don't confuse me. So 8. Ooh, I do have an inspiration. I'm gonna use that now because otherwise I'm not making it. Oh fuck. Okay, so original roll. 9.
9. So that is a difference of 5.
Yeah.
It was working at first, but you got to the end, and now that you're closer, the queen seems to realize just this outfit is not working, and she kind of puffs at you, and she's not very satisfied. You get the impression of that last finish, but you did well enough on the first 2 that she does allow you to leave and doesn't attempt to eat you immediately. And you join Timber. Who's next?
Tear slowly rolls down my eye.
I just want to say for all, if we have any viewers out there right now and you're
We
thinking
do.
to yourself, what the fuck is going on? We're all thinking the exact same thing. So.
They're holding a fashion show for a blue dragon.
All right, I think Thranduil's ready. He's gonna ask Winter. Do I know if she has bagpipes?
I
don't-
do have
No
bagpipe.
bagpipe.
I'm gonna look at Winter and be like, I need you to give me a beat. And then he's going to he's gonna come around onto the walkway and he's gonna walk about midway and he's gonna draw both of his swords and then hold them up above his head and then like signal Winter. And then he's gonna place him down in front of his feet in an X, put his hands on his hips, stare the dragon directly into the eye, and then start doing a swords dance.
Nice. Okay, that's a DC 10 for your first performance.
All right. 13.
Okay, yeah, it's working. Winter is definitely laying it on with these bagpipes, although I don't know how good of a beat you get for bagpipes, but
Oh, it's jamming.
it's working, and you kind of notice the dragon's kind of bobbing its head, and you start your walk again.
All right. I'm just gonna like do that, like Irish step dance where he's just gonna be like hands on his hips, spinning around, just kicking his feet out, and just like twirling down the walkway.
Okay, yeah, that is a performance 12.
All right, here goes. I rolled a 10, but I'm gonna go ahead and add my inspiration to that.
Well, that's
My
just
bless, my bless.
Oh, your bless.
All right, let me see. Where's my D4?
Need a 2 or higher?
Okay. Well, here goes nothing. 3.
You're dancing and you trip and fall, and that is a difference of 9.
You need 10, 11, 12, 13. I got. Oh, it wasn't enough, huh?
Oh, you got
A 13.
a 13 total?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you said a 9. Okay.
The 3 was from the bless, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 13's better than 12, so you don't fail.
Close one.
Okay. Yeah, and you reach the end, and now it's time for the pose and turn. By the way, we have peaked in viewers now, so I hope you guys are liking the Blue Dragon Fashion Show, brought to you by us folks here at Minhal, Veil of Malevolence. Remember, you too can play at startplaying.games.
All right.
Can you do a
He's
flourish?
Yeah, he's gonna like spin around with the click clack dance, and then he's gonna like land, like legs spread in front of her, and then he's just gonna bust open his shirt and then snap his head back and turn around and walk away.
Okay, DC 14 performance.
All right, here goes nothing.
As you try to magic Mike a dragon.
I failed, but I'm gonna use my inspiration on this one.
Okay.
Oh, come on, please. What was this supposed to be?
14.
Shoot. That would be a 12. Do I get to use bless again?
Yeah.
You just get one.
Oh,
I
it's
just
just
get one?
one?
I thought it was one roll.
It lasts for
I
as
thought it
long
was
as you
active for a
concentrate
little
on
bit.
the spell.
Yeah, anytime you can, as long as the spell is active, a d20
Oh, it
roll.
says whenever. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
good.
so go ahead, add that.
Oh, thank God. Okay, 12 plus 2. So 14.
You made it.
Oh my God.
Yes. And if you get the impression that if she could clap, she would be, Thranduil, as you
Bam.
pull this off and take your place with the others. Who's next?
Winter can go.
Okay.
Okay.
Before you go out, I'm gonna cast. Because it's just me and you left.
Mordella still needs to
And
go as well.
Mordella.
Okay, because I was gonna cast it on Mordell. Okay, no, you're good.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
Winter.
don't think I need it, considering I get a +10 to performance. So
I was
don't think
thinking
need
of
plus.
your performance bonus plus your the fact that if anything goes wrong, I figured you could
You're
always show
pretty
them the
much,
Dragonborn.
you're guaranteed to pass the first check. Your second, well, that depends on if you're going to do any flourishes or try to make it impressive. Your second check, you would have to roll no lower than a 2. And your last check, no lower than a 4. I think you got this, but we'll see if you add flourishes. So, Winter, you take the stage.
She's gonna pull out her bagpipes to begin with. And she's going to play the same kind of beat as she did for Thranduil as she makes her way through the stage. She sways a little just so the skirt that's around her kind of flows more like water, kind of like waves. That way it brings in the whole blue aspect, even though the dress is black. So it's not impressive as the first thing, but she's definitely building towards something.
Okay. DC 10 performance check is an auto pass. So you make your way. Actually, no, let's see if you roll a 1. There's always
I rolled a
that
3,
chance. There
so
you
I
go.
still pass.
There you go. And now you're mid-walk. What are you doing as you reach the halfway point of this runway?
So she's going to switch from bagpipes to the lute, and it's still going to be the same beat. And it's a weird way. It's weird how the segue works, but it still works, so it's perfect. She's swaying a little bit more, and around her shoulders, there seems to be almost this glowing of gems from underneath the dress.
Okay, DC 12 performance.
I got 20 total. Dirty.
Being that you guys are kind of in this alcove carved here, the acoustics down here are perfect. This music sounds wonderful, and the queen is loving it. You get to the end of the runway for your pose and turn.
She switches again from the lute to just singing, and she's singing this lullaby that's been passed down in her community of the might of blue dragons, this lullaby in Draconic that was sung to her as a child. And if anyone asks, she'll just say it's thaumaturgy, but she's going to activate her gem flight, and she's going to have amethyst kind of pop into visibility around her shoulder as these beautiful purple, black, and blue spectral wings kind of flow out her back and kind of do this flap to the beat of both her music and her dress. And she starts to like hover like half a foot in the air as she does a little spin, and then she walks back as her wings slowly kind of glide back into place on her back and then fade away.
Oh, nice. DC 14 performance.
'21.
You guys, you thought Timber was born for this until you saw Winter take that runway. And even you guys are captivated at this wonderful performance. And the Queen's eyes go wide at the sight of these wings. And she is pleased. And you are allowed to leave the runway and join the rest. Ordella and Vrac.
And she's going to give bardic inspiration to whoever goes on stage next, which is a D8.
My charisma is
Um,
quite good if you'd like to go, Vrac.
Okay, well, I'm gonna cast. I was gonna cast enhance ability on both of us, and go with Eagle Splendor, giving us both advantage on charisma checks.
Yep.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right.
So I'm gonna drop the bless for the enhance ability.
Yep.
Cool.
Vrac, you take the stage.
All right. I'm thinking more power than grace.
Yeah. You
More-
are strutting with the confidence of a woman who knows her worth.
I'm thinking more fierceness than softness, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody is paying attention, you can hear. You didn't see her do this, but you can hear the click of heels on the stone walkway.
Ooh.
We made sure nobody saw her put them on, but she definitely put on some stilettos.
I was so tempted.
That's what I'm talking about.
Vrac has never worn heels before. I guarantee it. I was gonna
No,
impose
no.
disadvantage for this, but I'm not gonna because that was just
Absolutely
so
not.
good.
She would
So good.
she would walk around the house on her tiptoes because her mom is not. Her mom's full orc. She's not wearing heels.
Yep.
So I'm thinking like Vrac would like walk around the house on her tiptoes
Yeah.
to try to practice, because there's no way in hell her mom would let her get caught dead with a pair of heels. But just strutting down the walkway, one hand on her hip, the other hand with the fingers outstretched, as she's
Ooh.
eyeing the crowd with a, I wouldn't call it disdain, but she knows what she's worth.
DC 10 performance
Hey,
check,
thank
add
you.
advantage, and you have bardic inspiration.
11.
Hey, that works. Yeah, you're strutting your stuff. You are owning this, and you reach the halfway point.
At this point, she's going to start doing my mom used to watch, what was it? America's Next Top Model.
Mhm.
And they would do this thing where they would like scan back and forth over the crowd slowly as they're walking down. So their head would slightly move as they're looking a little bit down their nose, but not because they think they're better, just because like right now I'm the shit.
Absolutely. DC 12 performance.
19. Nope, that'd be a
Oh.
dirty 20.
Ooh, Timber, roll a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, okay. Hang on, I'll just roll it on the.
Yeah.
22.
You know what? You never pictured Vrac looking this good, but even for a guy who's into humans, she's owning that runway right now.
Yeah.
And you get to the end, it's time for that pose and turn.
No, Ildane stole it. No, like I wish I could just show you my Google search history because the last thing I looked up was what they call that, and it's the over the shoulder smolder.
Yep.
So she does that at the end of the walkway and
Okay.
just scans the dragon and rolls the dice.
Yep. It's 14.
So we're using bardic inspiration. 15.
Yep. And you do. You pose, and the Dragon Queen looks pleased and splashes the water some for an effect with the light. She can respect that fierceness. And Mordella, the final one to take the stage in your fascinating blue dress.
Man, I don't know how I could follow all these fascinating and amazing runs, but Mordella's gonna try. So the first thing she's gonna do is, as she begins walking with her hands on her hips, she's gonna snap her fingers, and the equivalent in Minhal of Vogue by Madonna begins playing
Yeah.
as she walks down the runway fiercely, locking eyes with the dragon, then snapping her head to the right, snapping her head to the left.
Okay.
All right.
DC 10. You have advantage.
All right. So we've got a 23.
Oh, man. You thought you needed a wisdom saving throw before, Timber. You're thinking you might be in love. As you reach the
Like-
halfway point, Mordella.
As she gets up to the halfway point, she like throws her hands up over her face like this, and as she slowly pulls them to the side and throws them down, she does a ray of frost out of each of her fingertips into the pool of water to simulate like a light effect.
Yeah, DC 12, but man, if you didn't already have advantage, you would have got it there.
All right, and this one is a 21.
Oh, yeah. The dragon's actually inching closer. This looks good. And now for that all-important pose and turn.
As she's getting closer to the pose, her broom is going to fly up right in front of the dragon's face, and she's going to misty step up to the broom and do the turn right on the broom right in front of the dragon, and have the broom kind of glide her back down to the runway after she does the turn.
Wow. Yeah, DC 14.
All right, and this one is a 19. No, sorry, it's a 20.
Absolutely. It is a flawless maneuver and impressive. Even some of the commoners who have come and taken to watching even gasp at the show. And there is applause all around. As the fashion show ends, and so does our episode of Minhal, Veil of Malevolence. We will pick up right here at the end of the fashion show next week. This was a lot of fun. We're going to move into Stars and Wishes. These games, I'm going to start first. These games seem to fly by. This does not feel like we've been playing for 3 hours. Like, it is. You guys are amazing. These runways were amazing. When I was creating this blue dragon, this is right out of the monster manual. When you're creating a blue dragon, you roll for traits. One of them is demand a fashion show from your players, and that's what I rolled. So I was like, this will be fun. So this was great. The role play in the beginning with Thranduil getting kind of touchy with a drow around. Didn't see that side coming, but I'm here for it. And the shrine roleplay was really good. Timber he just had 4 days cut off his trip. He's been complaining about time, and he still finds a reason to complain, and I love it. I love it. Wishes, I got nothing. This game just blows my mind every week. We'll go in reverse order of last week. Kaden?
Okay, so I want to start off by saying when I looked at the clock, I misread it and thought it was only like 6:45, and I was like, wait, why are we stopping now? This has to be a joke. And then I realized it was 8, and then I was like, oh, that makes more sense. But stars to everyone, especially your ability to make me asking for a fancy sword that I want, as me not being grateful enough for my own god. That was kind of fun. Also the air conditioning in Minhal. My one wish was that the platform had been slightly higher or had less stairs, so that way I could use my my gem flight to just gently glide down. But I kind of like that I got to use it for the platform instead, because I got that at 5th level, but I didn't find an excuse to use it till now, so it was kind of fun. I love Dragonborns, so I'm glad I got to use it. And
Yeah, it's my favorite
stars
Dragonborn to
to
play too.
yeah, stars to everyone. Mardella getting possessed. Ildane sweating in her armor the entire time. Timber's whole baby outfit. It was awesome.
Yeah, wishes?
No, I really got none. This was awesome tonight.
Yeah, you guys don't know. Behind the scenes, Mordella did her binding ritual and she failed on one. So that's what that was. It wasn't actually Zithraxis. She tried to call a more powerful spirit and it did not roll well. Max.
Yeah, tons of stars for the roleplay. Thranduil with the drow thing was fantastic. That was as much as something that's racist can be fantastic. That was fantastic, right? I just love the way this party like grabs onto a bit and just rolls with it, like the wanting to eat the horses. Like that's like, hey, I just love it.
After 10 minutes in the desert, that's it. That's all it took was 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're like, I guess it's time to eat the horses. The maps, and Frankie, I don't know if you created these maps or if you found these somewhere, but these maps are absolutely gorgeous. The one that we were on before the fashion show, where it was like actual ruins with that dragon statue, that was an absolute gorgeous map. So good job on that. All the rest were cool too. The fashion show, fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Super tense because I actually have a negative charisma modifier, so every time I went to roll, there was a little bit of pee coming out. I do have a wish, and I developed this wish as I was driving home today and listening to last week's episode in the car. I really, really wish we were all in the same room.
Yeah.
Because to be polite to everybody else when they are doing their thing, everybody else is muted. And I remember last week I spent just laughing my ass off, or somebody do something awesome, and I would like scream, and none of that happened. You know, in the videos and stuff, nobody hears that. You know, some people say something is hilarious, then it's just quiet because everybody else is muted. I do wish we were in the room to play, so that everybody kind of like get those live reactions that really make this a lot more fun.
Oh yeah, I know that we're missing out on Alyssa just running her mouth. Speaking of Alyssa, it's your turn.
Me?
Yeah.
I was behaved.
You literally just cackled.
Okay. So stars, I love the fact that we just had like this range of conversations and role play with like a lot of different characters. Then off screen, Timber's been like, any time you would cast a spell with a character, he's on the back like off mic going counterspell. I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're gonna die. And then like when he was just insulting the god and everything, that was great. And I'm so glad that my pocket thing rolled well, because I was like, there's no way a dwarf would do a fashion show, but I was like, okay, we'll roll with it. The only wish I had is the one time I did fail, would a bless dice have the possibility of reducing damage or
No, you missed by
passing?
you missed by 5, and blessed dice is
Okay.
4, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it didn't make a difference how much I failed of it. It's just like that was my reaction to failing.
Oh, in total, yeah, there was a number. If you guys hit, she was going to try to eat whoever was on the run.
Oh shit. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right.
Yeah, but you only build up
Another
5.
Yeah.
To
Another
tell you
star.
the
I
truth,
didn't
you
need
were
it.
1/3
Cool.
of the way there. That one failure was 1/3 of the way from her trying to eat you.
Jesus.
Okay.
That was also the only failure of the
Yes,
entire fashion
it
show.
was. It was. I was like, this is gonna be a charisma thing. I'm gonna get some failures, but you guys worked it. You guys definitely spiced it up. Were there any wishes, Ildan?
No.
Okay,
It was great.
Cook.
I'm gonna do wishes first, just because I agree with Max's wish that we were all in the same room. I didn't have to mute myself as much this time because Ivy's been asleep the entire time. So y'all have heard me like. Usually, what you don't hear is me laughing, but this time because I wasn't muted, I was just laughing the entire session. So I'm just gonna move into stars. Everybody gets stars. One, you're juggling a group with 6 people in it, plus your NPCs.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. The role play with Eric Strandel in the beginning, with the drow felt really heartfelt. Loved that. For Timber, loved that the sailor suit came back, and it didn't just come back; it came back, and you gave us like a fashion show within a fashion show with the suit, and the entire time, like I could visualize everybody's motions. But visualizing Timber's motions in the sailor suit, knowing he's the same size as that baby, is the funniest thing in the damn world.
Yes, it is.
Mordella's amazing closer at the end. That was awesome. I was thinking about, giving a boost to Winter at one point, but no, when you said I get a +10, I was, you know what? You got it. You win. And then everybody's walk felt within their personality. We didn't get anything bland this session. Everybody was laughing the whole time. So just stars to everybody involved.
Awesome. Yeah, that was fun. Eric.
I actually rolled a 3 on the walkway, and if it wasn't for the inspiration point that I was gifted, I would have got eaten. So I want that to be said.
Yeah.
Big stars to Frankie. I mean, look how beautiful these maps are. Like, I know you're putting a lot of time in.
There's I used assets, so it's really I just move stuff around on a thing, but yeah.
It's really nice. You're doing a good job. Just you're just doing a really good job, man. Appreciate
I
you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
And of course, stars to everybody for the great role play that they do. This is a really good group. There's a lot of respect, nobody's stepping on each other's toes. Everybody's giving each other the space to shine every episode. It's always funny and a good time. I always have a good time. I guess my only wish is I wish I would have met you guys a little sooner so I could play with some of your other campaigns you guys talk about, because I'd like to be in some of them inside jokes, because I bet you guys had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. I'm glad to be here. Thanks, guys.
Well, last week you said specifically an elf and a dwarf could never get together, and you were going on about it for like 3 minutes. And then I don't know if you heard me say it, but I said everybody in the Friday night campaign is giggling a little bit. My character is a 7 foot and some change elf, barbarian woman, and Max's character is a dwarf paladin, and they are currently dating.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Thanks
Like I
to
said,
me.
for somebody who's been happily married for 20 years, I spent an awful lot of time flirting with other men online every week. So.
Yeah. Thranduil's been a fun character. He's he's kind of a simple person, you know. He got a little racism. He doesn't understand things, and it's really cool to flesh out a character like that.
Yeah, and it's not done in a disrespectful or over the top way, so it's kind of like the stuff with Vrak. It kind of builds depth to the world. I mean, that stuff exists in the real world. It would exist in a fantasy world. Nick?
I think like pretty much all the stars that I could think of were already pretty much covered, and I hadn't even thought of that. Like, what if we were all in the same room together? That would be just absolutely wild. The way I laughed when first I saw Ildane's outfit and then the fucking sailor outfit, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I haven't laughed that hard in a long, long time. So I guess I'll just make a couple comments to close it out and say that I really didn't expect that we'd fight, well, not fight, but like encounter a adult blue dragon. And then for it to end up turning into like the whole fashion show thing, that was really, really awesome and really like a creative way to do that, Frankie. That was really, really fucking cool. I can't say enough about how much fun that was. But the whole episode was fun. Everything was fun. It was just a really, really awesome and like very complete feeling session today.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I do, Eric, you wouldn't know this, but when we first met Cook and he first joined our Friday game many, many, many months ago, he was like, "Oh, I'm not really a role player. I'm here for combat. I want to roll dice." It just the evolution of you as a player, Cook, that I've gotten to witness over this last year is amazing.
Well, I mean, it's for me, like, so most of my video games are RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
They're either simple or really complicated. I skip dialogue. I skip almost all the dialogue. I've only recently just been getting into the RP part of RPG. And it's been a lot of fun. I wouldn't be able to do it if the group wasn't so cohesive. Because I've played in 5 or 6 groups before this, and I told you my fiasco before in last year.
Yep.
And you can't role play with everybody. You can't get comfortable with everybody enough to do anything, so you're really just rolling dice. We didn't have a combat this session, and that's my favorite part of D&D. But this session was so fun that you, even if you don't forget about the combat, you don't care that you're not in combat because everything is set up so nicely. I'm role playing with you guys without even thinking about it. We're all yes-anding each other. It's just been great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody who watched tonight. I'm going to end the session, or not the session, but the stream. I'm going to stick around and talk because this was such a fun session and I kind of want to keep talking about it. So for everybody who watched, thank you so much. And we will see you again next Wednesday.
Thank y'all.
Later. This was fun, guys. It's fun every week, but holy shit.